Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi gets a rousing welcome at Muscat on the last leg of his three-nation tour. Meets Oman's Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs, Saeed Shihab bin Tariq bin Taimur Al Saeed. Prime Minister Modi addresses Ethiopia's parliament, urges collaboration for Global South's development. Russia's President Vladimir Putin warns that Moscow will seize claimed Ukraine lands by force if Kyiv and its allies ditch dialogue. And global crude prices rise more than 2% as US President Trump orders blockade of sanctioned oil tankers leaving and entering Venezuela. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached Muscat on Wednesday for a two-day official visit on the last leg of his three-nation tour. The visit is of special significance as it marks the 70th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Oman. The leaders aim to bolster the strategic partnership in trade, investment, energy, defense, and people-to-people ties. The Prime Minister was received at the airport by Oman's Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs, Saeed Shihab bin Tariq bin Taimur Al Saeed, and was accorded a ceremonial welcome at the airport. They had a great interaction, exchanging perspectives on India-Oman friendship. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi said, "Oman is a land of enduring friendship and deep historical connections with India. This visit," he says, "offers an opportunity to explore new avenues of collaboration and add fresh momentum to the partnership." And the Prime Minister was accorded a warm welcome upon his arrival at his hotel in the city. He witnessed a traditional Omani welcome cultural performance. India's vibrant cultural diversity was on full display. A special Gujarati song and a Ghumar dance performance were presented. Members of the Indian community took the lead in showcasing a blend of classical dances such as Kuchipudi, Mohiniyattam, Bharatnatyam and Kathakali. The Prime Minister also witnessed Yakshagana, a display of traditional Indian theatre dance performance. A special Bollywood dance performance was presented showcasing the harmony of India's diverse religions and cultures. And my colleague Gautam Roy joins us for more. Gautam, tell us more about the Prime Minister's welcome upon his arrival in Muscat.
As I Ramesh, it was indeed a very rousing reception that Prime Minister Modi got both at the airport when he landed in Muscat and then at his place of stay here. We had the Indian diaspora in great strength present here. It was the colors of India there as well. The Indian diaspora, of course, we've been saying it time and time again, 675,000 strong in Oman. And not only that, just it's beyond the number of years, 5,000 years that India has been here, having all kinds of relations, starting from trade, of course, then to the current, the present day, where the relationship that the Indian diaspora has with the Omani society encompasses all segments of, well, not just business or professions, but in terms of even daily lives, they are completely harmonious over here, and they were present in great numbers to receive Prime Minister Modi. Apart from that, the PM also got to witness Indian classical dance, folk from Rajasthan. There was, of course, Omani drums as well, and a Gujarati song. And apart from that, the entire connection that India has with Oman, dating back those millennia, 5 millennia, was also displayed through paintings, the Manvi to Muscat connection. So it was a very comprehensive kind of a presentation of what the Indian diaspora really represents for Oman, and the kind of link that has always been there, and there's tremendous scope for expansion over that. There's that expectation, which is why the Indian diaspora is so excited, and we saw clearly how they were completely overwhelmed in terms of how they received the Prime Minister with the chants of his name and also Bharat Mata Ki Jai and the waving of the national flag.
So that was all about day one. How will day two look like? What is the itinerary on Thursday?
It's a packed day, really. It starts early. There's a business forum meeting first thing in the morning. And we saw some glimpse of how, there's a large delegation that has reached here from India to Oman, top industrialists. We spoke to Naveen Jindal as well, a well-known person in terms of steel as well as energy, even education in India, who has extensive investment, the largest perhaps Indian conglomerate to invest in Oman. And there's plenty of them, 6,000 such investments have taken place from India. And there's a joint fund as well, investment fund that India and Oman have. A lot has been put in place already to take ties to the next level where business is concerned. And we will see that happening tomorrow. That is the big ticket event, when the bilateral talks take place between India and Oman, between Prime Minister Modi and Sultan Haitham bin Tariq. They will have a tete-a-tete, then there'll be a delegation level meeting. They will witness the signing of the CEPA, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Now, this is an agreement that Oman is signing with another country 19 years after it had such an agreement with the United States of America. And it will be the second Gulf nation to do it. We've seen that in the case of the UAE. We've seen how that CEPA has benefited both India and the UAE in a very short span of time. And that is the expectation that is there for this CEPA as well, because Oman also gives, through the sea route, direct access not just to the Gulf region, to Central Europe as well, and Central Asia, many parts of the world where India has good access, but it will be another access point with a nation which has always partnered India in all kinds of thick and thin, even in the times of the 71 war, or for that matter, having joint exercises with all three, the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force, the only Gulf nation to do that. So these ties will grow from strength to strength. Right now, the trade, the last financial year was $10.6 billion. It's expected to more than double with the CEPA in less than 5 years.
All right, we'll leave there for now, Gautam. Thank you. That was my colleague Gautam Roy reporting from Muscat. And Gautam Roy caught up with the diaspora who staged a dance performance in honor of the Prime Minister. Take a listen.
Well, the Indian diaspora was in the hotel where the Prime Minister arrived in handsome numbers to greet him, to welcome him to Oman, and there were multiple performances as well. One of them was Indian classical dances to the tune of Vande Mataram. We have those performers here with us.
I perform Kathak. My name is Anu Chennai. She is Shrikala ma'am. She performed Mohiniyattam, Bharatnatyam by Dhanlakshmi, and Tirtha performed Kuchipudi. So we did 4 Indian classical dances together on one song, in Vande Mataram song.
How is it performing in front of the Prime Minister of India?
Amazing, very electrifying. Very good experience.
Tell us, what did you feel?
Yeah, actually, when we saw Narendra Modi ji in front of us standing, no, we lost ourselves. Actually, no, this is a luck. We got the good opportunity, and thank you, Embassy, for giving us such a wonderful opportunity.
I performed Bharatanatyam, and it was a great honor to perform in front of Mr. Narendra Modi. And we all teachers came together, and we have given a different culture. So it's like, thank you so much for giving.
Was it seamless, or was it tough to figure out how to perform together?
It was very simple, but in front of Modi, we got scared. We started shivering while dancing. It's like great honor, yeah.
What can you tell us about how you performed, and how did you prepare for this?
Myself Tirtha Katil, Vidushi Tirtha Katil. So I performed Kuchipudi, Andhra Pradesh classical dance form. So really I felt very happy, and it's great opportunity, and I felt like I am performing the God of Nation. So it's very great opportunity for all of us. So really very happy. I don't know how to express my happiness in one word or 2 words. It won't. We can't explain. So it was very long dream for me.
Thank you. I'm sure the Prime Minister appreciated this slice of Indian culture, that too Indian classical dance here in Oman. The Prime Minister also witnessed many other performances as well, and we will, of course, bring you slices of that as well. With cameraperson Mohan Mukut Sharma, this is Gautam Roy in Oman, Muscat for DD India.
And children who danced the Ghumar were excited at performing in front of the Prime Minister.
We have here with us the children who performed Ghumar, folk dance from Rajasthan. Hello, how are you, and how is it performing in front of the Prime Minister? What's your name?
My name is Faiha, and I was really happy to see him. The way he smiled while seeing our dance really motivated us, and he was really inspiring us.
When we performed in front of Prime Minister, it was like a surreal moment. We felt so happy in performing in front of Prime Minister.
And how did he appreciate your performance, and what's your name?
My name is Prasar, and yeah, it was amazing seeing him, and we were speechless how he greeted us and everything.
It was really amazing, and the way he motivated us, it was amazing. I was speechless, and then I should especially thank the Indian Embassy for selecting our school, ISAM, to dance in front of him.
You all came together and performed here in front of Prime Minister Modi. Were you scared, or did you feel like you could, do your own thing?
I was a bit scared, but then I felt happy by seeing him, and his motivation was amazing.
And how have you been learning this particular folk dance, and did you feel that one day, did you kind of get a feeling that you would be performing in front of a person like Prime Minister Modi or a top world leader?
No, we never thought we would dance before our Prime Minister, and we've been practicing from 2 weeks, and we were truly excited, and it was a wonderful moment for us.
Never we accepted that we can get like this of an opportunity to play in front of him.
We are really very happy for this.
I was super excited but a little nervous too. But now I'm really happy and proud to dance in front of him.
Thank you. So slightly overwhelming for these young girls to be performing in front of Prime Minister Modi, but in the end they really aced their performance, and the Prime Minister was quite appreciative of it as well. Just shows how the culture of India lives here in Oman through the next generation as well, the younger generation, and they are ever more willing to take it forward. With cameraperson Shiva, this is Gautam Roy in Muscat, Oman, DD India.
And the Prime Minister was also presented with a hand-painted portrait. Gautam Roy spoke to members of the Indian Diaspora.
Scores of people from the 675,000 strong Indian Diaspora were at Prime Minister Modi's place of stay here in Oman, in Muscat, when he arrived here. And one of them were these people who had brought a painting of the Prime Minister as well, a hand-painted painting. Could you tell us about yourself, your name, and what brought you here?
I'm basically from Rajasthan, and we have a Rajasthani community, a big Rajasthani diaspora, and we basically observe on every Independent Day, Prime Minister from the Red Fort, he wears the Rajasthani safa, and that inspired us that being Rajasthani Pravasi here, we should welcome him in a very traditional manner. We could see that the kind of satisfaction he had by seeing this particular thing. We are actually delighted. We are very blessed that he is our Prime Minister, and he is taking the entire, you can say, relationship between India and on the global stage very, very forward.
People from all sorts of regions of India really here in Oman, and some of them here for millennia altogether. 5,000 years of relationship goes back. But when the leader of India comes to any nation, in fact, here in Oman, he's just arrived, and it really draws in the entire diaspora because they feel proud of the land that they come from, and they want to reflect that pride in the land that they have made their home. With camera person Shiva, this is Gautam Roy in Muscat for Oman for DD India.
So Oman is the last leg of his three-nation tour, but on the first leg of his tour, the Prime Minister was in Jordan. There, the Indian diaspora plays a crucial role in the economic development of the country. It employs locals to add glitter to their Indian skills. DD India's Vishal Badisto reports from Amman.
I'm in Amman, Jordan, and this is Gujarat gold. Sounds strange, but it's true, because this belongs to an Indian businessman from Gujarat, and the speciality of this factory is that they are not only producing jewelry in gold and diamond, but they are also employing people from Jordan. So let's visit the place, talk to the people, find out more about how Indians are doing great in Jordan.
All that glitters here is gold. And what adds glitter to this yellow metal is that the owner is an Indian from the state of Gujarat who has employed these skilled Jordanians. This is Sara carefully sorting the diamonds. It requires a lot of skill, and for this she gets paid well, and that too in American dollars. Here, skilled hands stud diamonds and precious gems into gold, and it requires trained hands and skill training.
In this section, they are setting diamonds and gemstones on the gold, and he is 33-year-old Muhammad Haris. Let's talk to him. So, Haris, how long have you been working in this profession, and how do you find it?
21 years. وكيف ملاقي الشغل هنا؟ الحمد لله. He likes it. تقدم دائما أكيد.
So, Muhammad Haris, into his family tradition, it's been there in his family for many generations, and he's been working here for quite some time.
The journey from a jewel to jewelry has around 100 steps before the yellow metal is transformed into glittering gold.
This section, they do spot laser welding. They join the pieces of gold, and I have with me Doha. She is Reham. For Doha, it's a new experience for her. She speaks Arabic, and she says that she is a professional and she loves to work here. It's been 5 years that she's been working here.
The journey starts with a three-dimensional print of the design.
So now we have Jackie, a youngster who supports his father in the family business, and Jackie Mohan Jatia. So Jackie, tell me about your business. You've been employing people from Jordan. So are you also exporting things?
Yes, we've been exporting to America, to Canada. We've been importing from Turkey, Dubai as well. We'll get it done anywhere you want, basically.
Okay. So where do you get the gold, and how do you then sell it?
We basically manufacture everything here, or unless it's imported, and then we just have our own market of more than 1,000 customers in Jordan, and then we sell to them directly,
and
other than the export.
Where do you get the gold?
The gold, we get it from, there's a place in downtown, it's called the Shabsog. They get all their gold from Dubai, and yeah.
So quite a success story, not only for Jackie, his father, but also for the Indo-Jordan friendship. They make, they produce, they sell, and also they help the families and their livelihoods here in Jordan. With cameraman Jay Shankar and Pramod in Amman, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
Now, India's global diplomacy marked another milestone on Wednesday when Prime Minister Modi addressed the Parliament of Ethiopia in Addis Ababa. It was his 18th address to a foreign legislature. From Africa to the Caribbean and across the Indo-Pacific, the Prime Minister's parliamentary outreach continues to expand India's presence on the world stage. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay brings us this report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi marked another significant moment in India's global outreach as he addressed the joint session of the Ethiopian Parliament at Addis Ababa on Wednesday, his 18th address to a foreign legislature. Prime Minister Modi opened his speech by extending greetings on behalf of 1.4 billion Indians, even offering a warm salam to the Ethiopian lawmakers.
On behalf of the 1.4 billion people of India, I bring greetings of friendship, goodwill, and brotherhood. Tena istilin. Salam.
PM Modi highlighted the deep civilizational ties between India and Ethiopia, describing the two nations as ancient cultures walking together into a future of growth and opportunity.
India's national song, Vande Mataram, and the Ethiopian national anthem, both refer to our land as the mother.
Prime Minister Modi emphasized India's readiness to share its experience and expertise as Ethiopia advances its Digital Ethiopia Strategy 2025.
As you roll out the Digital Ethiopia 2025 strategy, we are ready to share our expertise and our experience with Ethiopia.
The address concluded with a standing ovation, underscoring the warmth and respect shared between the two nations. Later posting pictures on X, Prime Minister Modi called it a great honor and privilege to speak in Ethiopia's parliament, praising the country's rich history and reaffirming India's commitment to strengthening bilateral cooperation. His latest address in Ethiopia comes on the heels of Prime Minister Modi's historic five-nation tour earlier in July this year, during which Prime Minister Modi addressed the parliaments of Ghana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Namibia. His speech in Namibia marked a major milestone, his 17th address to a foreign parliament, a record unmatched by any Indian Prime Minister. Over the years, Prime Minister Modi has addressed many parliaments across the world, from Bhutan, Nepal, Australia, and Fiji in 2014 to Mauritius, Sri Lanka, Mongolia, and Afghanistan in 2015. Prime Minister became the first Indian leader to address the British Parliament that same year. His 2016 address to the US Congress was followed by a second one in 2023, making him the only Indian leader to do so twice. Prime Minister's engagements continue from Uganda in 2018, Maldives in 2019, Guyana in 2024, followed by 4 more nations in 2025. With Ethiopia becoming the 18th Parliament, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's global outreach continues to set new benchmarks in India's diplomatic history. Rahul Upadhyay's report for TD India.
And Prime Minister Modi's Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam initiative has grown into a global environmental movement. Leaders are joining hands to honor mothers while protecting the Mother Earth. The initiative reflects India's leadership in driving collective action for a greener future.
Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's initiative of planting trees in the name of their mothers, shows his commitment towards environmental protection and to ensure a better future for the planet. The campaign has brought people together not only across India but around the world with the message of honoring their mothers while protecting Mother Earth. Several global leaders have now joined this mega campaign. Most recently, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali became part of the initiative, planting a sapling with Prime Minister Modi in Addis Ababa. Earlier this year, on July 25th, Maldivian President Mohamed Moizu joined the campaign, planting a tree with Prime Minister Modi in Malé. In July this year, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bharati also joined the initiative, planting a sapling with Prime Minister Modi in Port of Spain, lending her voice to the global call for environmental protection. In March this year, Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam participated in the campaign, planting a tree with Prime Minister Modi at the Sir Sivo Sagur Ramgoolam Botanical Garden, sending a message of shared commitment. Last November, Guyana President Irfan Ali joined the campaign and planted a sapling with Prime Minister Modi in Georgetown, accompanied by his family. In April this year, Slovak President Peter Pellegrini not only praised Prime Minister Modi's initiative, but also expressed his intent to draw inspiration from it in his own country. Since its launch in 2024, the Prime Minister's initiative has witnessed unprecedented global outreach. The initiative has now expanded to more than 136 countries, with over 27,500 trees planted abroad. Initiatives such as the International Solar Alliance and Mission Life, Lifestyle for Environment, have been widely appreciated and adopted across the world. Guided by the vision of One Earth, One Family, One Future, Prime Minister Modi continues to show the way forward, delivering a clear message that the world must come together and work collectively to protect our planet from global challenges. Bureau Report, DD India.
Right, in some other news, tension between the US and Venezuela are sharply escalating. US President Donald Trump has ordered a blockade on all sanctioned oil tankers attempting to enter Venezuela, and that's led to a rise in oil prices, which rallied by nearly 2%, raising global political temperature at a time of concerns over demand. Brent crude futures were at $59.91 a barrel, while US crude rose to $56.24 per barrel. It is still not clear how many tankers will be affected or how the US will impose the blockade against sanctioned vessels, and whether Trump will turn to the Coast Guard to interdict vessels as he did last week. Meanwhile, Caracas has denounced this move, calling it warmongering threats. Aarti Rana has more.
The United States has for months been building a major military deployment in the Caribbean, with the stated goal of combating Latin American drug trafficking, but taking particular aim at Venezuela. The announcement of a blockade of sanctioned oil vessels heading to and leaving Venezuela by US President Donald Trump is part of his pressure campaign against Caracas, while issuing new demands for access to the country's crude. Tensions have been mounting for weeks as Trump signals intent to launch military action inside Venezuela, ominously declaring that the country's airspace should be considered closed and the efforts at halting drug trafficking on land would soon begin.
I have to say the drugs coming in by sea are down 94%. And we're trying to figure out who the other 6% are. But they're down 94%, and we're going to start hitting them on land, which is a lot easier to do, frankly. But these are a direct military threat to the United States of America. They're trying to drug out our country.
Last week, the United States opened a new front in the campaign, seizing an oil tanker that had left Venezuela and announcing sanctions on several other vessels and companies associated with the Venezuelan oil industry. Referring to the many Navy and Marine forces assembled in the Caribbean, including the world's largest aircraft carrier, Trump has warned Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. Caracas views the operation as a campaign to push out Nicolas Maduro, whom Washington and many nations view as an illegitimate president, and to steal Venezuelan oil. With Venezuela's economy heavily reliant on crude exports, the move to cripple its oil sector is likely to further ramp up pressure on Maduro. Venezuelan president rejected US allegations of drug trafficking and accusing the United States of trying to seize Venezuela's natural resources. And for all peaceful purposes, Maduro unveiled a rock rendition of the song No War, Yes Peace. He emphasized that the song embodies Venezuela's enduring plea for peace.
La clase obrera petrolera.
We must speak with the ship owners in ports around the world to prepare a protest by oil and gas workers and by merchant marine workers against what we see as piracy by the US government, which is trying to impose privateering again. A big global protest, permanent not just for one day, and to prepare the defense of free trade for Venezuela and the whole world, because defending free trade and peace in the Caribbean and Venezuela is defending free trade and peace for the whole world.
Hablar con los armadores.
Venezuela has been sidestepping US oil sanctions for years, selling crude at a discounted price on the black market. It is estimated to have oil reserves of some 303 billion barrels, according to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, more than any other nation. As Washington tightens the noose on Venezuela's oil lifeline, the standoff risks tipping from economic warfare into open confrontation, raising fears of wider instability in a region already on edge. Bureau Report, DD India.
Still to come on DD India Newshour. An expert take on the current and future trajectory of India-Oman relations.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Right, going back to the top story we're tracking here on DD India Newshour, the Prime Minister's ongoing visit to Oman. Joining us is Ambassador Mohan Kumar. Ambassador, welcome to DD India Newshour. How would you describe India-Oman relations? Do you think they are fit for purpose and future ready?
Thank you very much, Ramesh. I think it's hugely strategic. There is no question about it. But when you ask me if it is fit for purpose, if by that you mean whether there is potential for substantially improving the relationship and taking it to the next level, the answer is yes. I think the two things that I would like to highlight, one, of course, like many other Gulf monarchies, we import substantial quantities of energy from it, and that's no surprise. Like other Gulf monarchies, we also have 700,000 people. In many other countries, we may have more, but still 700,000 Indians working in Oman is a substantial number. But I think this visit is crucial because it will lead to two things, I hope. One will be a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, which I hope will be signed tomorrow. It's much more than an FTA. It will encompass all aspects of economic relationship between India and Oman, and that is important. But I think the much more important thing for me is what happened a year ago, which is they gave us a special zone in the Dukkam port in the Western Indian Ocean, and that is of enormous strategic significance for India. I think if we can build on that, we can go on to do joint patrols with Omani's Navy. We can go on to do maritime domain awareness. We can go on to do humanitarian assistance and relief, HADR. So there are lots of other things that can be done. The significance of having a presence in the Western Indian Ocean cannot be underestimated because, as I was saying, in the context of a different program, we have the Indo-Pacific, but all the emphasis is on the Pacific, not in the Indian Ocean. And therefore, for India, it's extremely critical to have some maritime presence in the Indian Ocean, and there is no better way to do it than what Oman has given us by way of this presence in Duqm port. So I would not underestimate the strategic significance of this relationship. The strategic partnership, I think, will work in many ways to take it to the next level. But for me, the most significant things will be twofold. One, we should have that comprehensive economic partnership agreement. And second, we should strengthen mutual cooperation and presence around the Duqm port in the Western Indian Ocean.
Fair enough. Since you've given us an overview of the India-Oman relations, including trade and investment, the FTA and defense and security, let me address each of the issues one by one, Ambassador, starting with trade. Now, Oman is, as you mentioned, a key supplier of crude oil and LNG to India. But are India and Oman now looking beyond oil to newer areas of cooperation? Is there scope for boosting exports to Oman in maybe chemicals, petrochemicals or machinery?
Absolutely. I think you mentioned three of them: chemicals, petrochemicals and machinery. Absolutely. But I would not underestimate the importance of India providing food security for Oman.
Right.
And that is something we've been talking about for years. And I think it's extremely important that because of the natural terrain and so on, these countries, and especially Oman and others, are not entirely self-sufficient when it comes to food. So we can help them in the area of food security, and they can help us in the area of energy security. That is the grand bargain that can happen between India and Oman. Other areas in which I think we can try and improve our relations would be pharmaceuticals from India. Many of the products that are now available there may be from Europe or other expensive destinations, but I think there is a certain charm and a certain attraction for Indian products and services. For example, the digital public infrastructure. Can we get them to really adapt some of our methods? The rupee pay, for example, the RuPay, and the other mechanisms that we use, those are the kind of things that Oman would appreciate from India. But I think as your TV slide also shows, there is construction material, aircraft, iron ore. But really what this will do, the comprehensive economic partnership agreement, which is going to be signed tomorrow, hopefully, is that it will take the $10 billion current level of trade to something like 20 and 30. So we need that impetus and momentum that is to be provided by the comprehensive economic partnership agreement.
Ambassador Kumar, hearing you, one gets a sense that the comprehensive economic partnership agreement is a done deal. It should be welcome, no doubt, but do you think it takes on a special significance of its own because the India Gulf Cooperation Council FTA is work in progress? I ask you this because you've served in the region, including in Bahrain, which is a GCC member.
So Ramesh, excellent question, and as always, you are spot on. The problem that we have is we have had this FTA with GCC as a whole for years and years. And because they have not been able to coordinate and come to a common position, I think India has taken a strategic decision that we will now sign individually. And as you well know, we've already signed with UAE, which is extremely successful. And we will now go on to sign with Oman, hopefully, and then with the Saudis and others. That's the only way to proceed because the GCC as a whole is finding it difficult to sign FTAs with anybody. It's not just India. When I was ambassador there in Bahrain, I used to talk to the Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, who happened to be a Bahraini, and he would tell me that, listen, it's taking a long time to just coordinate among all the 6 members of the Gulf Cooperation Council. So you are absolutely right. It's much better for India to do it individually and to tailor our FTA and our comprehensive economic partnership agreement to the strengths of these individual countries. So you're right. That's exactly how we will go about doing this with the Gulf cooperation countries.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for. I will have to leave it at that. Ambassador Kumar, thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts with our audiences at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Right, moving on, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has lashed out at European leaders, saying that Russia would achieve its goals in Ukraine by diplomatic or military means and also seek to expand its security buffer zone there. Meanwhile, the leaders of 27 EU states will gather in Brussels on Thursday to discuss whether to use frozen Russian assets worth nearly $246 billion as a collateral to give a loan to Ukraine.
As the Russia-Ukraine conflict drags on with no sign of any peace deal, the United States is preparing a further round of sanctions on Russia's energy sector to increase the pressure on Moscow, should President Vladimir Putin reject a peace deal with Ukraine, according to a media report citing people familiar with the matter. The media report on Wednesday said that the US is considering options such as targeting vessels in Russia's so-called shadow fleet of tankers used to transport Moscow's oil and traders who facilitate the transactions. In Moscow, Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday said that the US is ready for peace talks on Ukraine and that he hoped the same would be true of Europe.
As before, we are ready to negotiate and resolve all the problems that have arisen in recent years peacefully. The US administration has demonstrated this willingness, and we are engaged in dialogue with them. I hope the same will happen with Europe. It's unlikely that this will be possible with the current political elites.
President Putin also warned that Moscow will seek to extend its gains in Ukraine if Kiev and its Western allies reject the Kremlin's demands in peace talks.
The goals of the special military operation will undoubtedly be achieved. We would prefer to do this and address the root causes of the conflict through diplomacy. If the opposing side and their foreign patrons refuse to engage in substantive discussion, Russia will achieve the liberation of its historical lands by military means.
Putin said that there were some calls in the West to prepare for a major war with Russia, and he described this as hysteria and a lie. The Kremlin said on Wednesday that Russia's position on the deployment of any European troops to Ukraine under a possible future US-brokered peace deal was widely known, but that the subject could be discussed. Ahead of a summit of EU leaders, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said on Wednesday that Russia is making unreasonable demands in a US-brokered push for peace with Ukraine. Meloni also told the Italian parliament that finding a legal way to use frozen Russian assets to help finance Ukraine remained far from easy.
This is demonstrated by the relentless bombardments of Ukrainian cities and infrastructure, as well as against the defenseless population, and confirmed by the unreasonable demands that Moscow is conveying to its interlocutors, the main one concerning the portion of Donbass not yet conquered by the Russians.
Meanwhile, European Union chief Ursula von der Leyen has voiced support for financing Ukraine, with leaders under pressure to agree on a plan to use frozen Russian assets.
And there is no more important act of European defence than supporting Ukraine's defence. The next days will be a crucial step for securing this. It is up to us to choose how we fund Ukraine's fight. We know the urgency, it is acute, we all feel it, we all see it, because just as peace negotiations are stepping up, so is intensifying the Russian barrage of attacks.
The United States has offered to provide NATO-style security guarantees for Kiev in talks on ending the war. But there has been no agreement on what Zelensky called the painful issue of territorial concessions. Bureau Report, DD India.
The Ministry of External Affairs summoned the Bangladesh High Commissioner to India, Riaz Hamidullah, and apprised him of India's strong concerns at the deteriorating security environment in Bangladesh. The Bangladesh High Commissioner's attention was drawn in particular to the activities of some extremist elements who have announced plans to create a security situation around the Indian mission in Dhaka. The ministry said that India completely rejects the false narrative sought to be created by extremist elements regarding certain recent events in Bangladesh. It is unfortunate that the interim government has neither conducted a thorough investigation nor shared meaningful evidence with India regarding the incidents. It added that India has close and friendly relations with the people of Bangladesh rooted in the liberation struggle and strengthened through various developmental and people-to-people initiatives. We are in favor of peace and stability in Bangladesh and have consistently called for free, fair, inclusive and credible elections conducted in a peaceful atmosphere. It said that it expected the interim government to ensure the safety of missions and posts in Bangladesh in keeping with its diplomatic obligations. The summons come on the heels of events like the anti-India rhetoric by a party leader in Bangladesh. Right, now take a look at what else is making news in India. Tripura's tea industry is witnessing steady growth and generating increased employment opportunities. The state's Industries and Commerce Minister Shantana Chakma said the industry has expanded significantly in recent years, contributing to livelihood generation across the northeastern state. In the other northeastern state of Assam, police seized 388 grams of heroin worth rupees 2.2 crore during an anti-narcotics operation. Police also apprehended the drug peddlers involved in the activity. The Uttarakhand government has launched a statewide campaign called Government for Every Citizen at Every Doorstep. It aims to ensure direct and effective delivery of public welfare schemes to people. And still to come on DD India Newshour. Maiden Pune Grand Tour road cycling race starts 19th January. And the Delhi and District Cricket Association League cricket for 25-26 season begins.
For sustainability to become more than just a statement, it needs to be practical and seamlessly fit into our lives.
If we are thinking about a net zero economy, and obviously automobile sector is at the center of this transformation. Instead of buying new vehicle, if I can retrofit and upgrade my existing vehicle, environmentally speaking, it is superior.
Zero waste means repair, reuse, analyze.
We realized that if women became involved in decision making and generated income, the whole family would benefit. Before, we needed a lot of manpower to handle the waste. But now, with the conveyor belt,
it converts the waste into electricity, powering 2 farms.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Australia is grappling with grief after a deadly terrorist attack at Sydney's Bondi Beach left 15 people dead. The attack has opened a national debate over gun control, with leaders pushing for legal reforms. Adamya Mishra has more.
Sydney's Bondi Beach attack that took place during Hanukkah celebrations has shattered the nation, reigniting questions over Australia's gun laws. Despite mandatory licensing and background checks, one of the shooters legally owned 6 firearms, reopening a national debate on gun control in the country. New South Wales Parliament will be recalled next week to pass urgent reforms on gun laws. Proposed measures include capping the number of firearms an individual can own and tightening access to certain shotguns. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese pledged decisive action to combat anti-Semitism.
We need to learn any lessons that are learnt from this, undertake stronger action, undertake any legislative change, undertake any powers, additional powers that are needed across the board. To work with the Jewish community, we want to stamp out and eradicate anti-Semitism.
While condemning the attack, US President Donald Trump pledged continued support for Jewish Americans.
Let me take a moment to send the love and prayers to our entire nation to the people of Australia, and especially all those affected by the horrific and anti-Semitic terrorist attack.
A statement from New South Wales Police confirms the attacker in custody has been charged with 59 offences, including 15 counts of murder, 40 counts of wounding with intent to murder, a terrorism offence and multiple additional charges. At Bondi Beach, celebration has given way to sorrow. Mourners gathered to sing, light menorah candles and honour the victims of the ghastly attack at a makeshift memorial which stands at Bondi Pavilion as a tribute. As Australia mourns, the nation is left confronting grief, fear and urgent questions about security, extremism and gun control. Adam Mishra's report for DD India.
In sports news, the Delhi and District Cricket Association League cricket for the 25-26 season officially got underway in New Delhi on Wednesday, marking the beginning of another crucial chapter in Delhi's domestic cricket calendar. The tournament was formally inaugurated at the iconic Arun Jaitley Stadium with DDCA President Rohan Jaitley, Secretary Ashok Sharma and other members of the association in attendance. The 25-26 season began with an opening fixture between Bright Cricket Club and Delhi Colts, setting the tone for an action-packed season ahead.
In the city of Delhi, clubs play a very pivotal role. The amount of cricket that happens through the club structure is about 1,500 to 1,700 plus games, depending on season to season. And we this year are targeted to do about close to 2,000 games in the year, which is a big number across age groups, across gender, across boys, girls, and it is it's the bed where all the talent actually comes out from. The children who have a potential play for different clubs and they move up the ranks and then eventually go and play for the state. So for the purposes of talent identification, performance appraisals, it is the most key platform that one person can endure themselves into for the purposes of the goal of playing for the state at the end of the day.
India's presence on the global cycling map is set to grow stronger, with the country preparing to host its biggest and most challenging road cycling event to date. The first ever Pune Grand Tour, a continental team's men's elite road cycling race starting from 19th January, is set to kickstart the international cycling calendar with a 4-stage multi-day challenge that promises to be a truly global spectacle. Meher Raj Singh reports from Pune.
India will host its first ever UCI 2.2 Pune Grand Tour 2026, a continental team men's elite road cycling race from January 19 to 23, 2026 across the Pune district. Termed as the biggest and toughest cycling event ever staged in India, the 4-stage race will feature participation from nearly 40 countries, including 2 teams from India. Ahead of the main event, a national trophy tour in Delhi served as a curtain raiser, where the winner's trophy was unveiled and an audiovisual presentation showcased the scale and ambition of the Grand Tour. The event was attended by Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Mansukh Mandavia, Indian Olympic Association President P.T. Usha, Cycling Federation of India President Pankaj Singh and Secretary General of CFI Maninderpal Singh, along with other officials from the CFI.
हम साइकिलिंग के ग्रैंड टूर करने जा रहे हैं। दोस्तों, साइकिलिंग फिटनेस के रूप में हमारे बीच में आ चुकी है। साइकिलिंग ए बेस्ट फिटनेस का माध्यम है। मैं हेल्थ मिनिस्टर भी रहा हूँ, डॉक्टर भी हूँ। मैं जानता हूँ साइकिलिंग इज ए बेस्ट एक्सरसाइज, और इसलिए आज साइकिलिंग एक फिट इंडिया का पार्ट बन गया।
Hosting UCI sanctioned event in India is a critical step in preparing our athletes to compete confidently at the Asian Games, Commonwealth Games and the Olympic Games. I would like to place on record my appreciation for Cycling Federation of India, whose continued effort in developing in sport, supporting elite athletes and bringing international standard event to India have been instrumental in making initiatives like the Bajaj Pune Grand Tour possible.
The event will be contested over a 437-kilometer 4-stage route cutting through Pune's urban areas, heritage zones, rural expanses and foothills, designed to test endurance, speed and race tactics. Officials credited initiatives like the Fit India movement and Khelo India for strengthening India's fitness culture and promoting cycle nationwide.
With the unveiling of the trophy, we can say that the countdown to the Pune Grand Slam Tour has officially begun. This tour will not only help and encourage young athletes to take up cycling as a professional career, but also help India put itself on the global cycling map. With cameraman Sanjay, this is Meher Raj Singh for DD India, Delhi.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Newshour. You can get the latest news on the DD India mobile app, which is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You may wish to scan the QR code that's now on the screen to download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Newshour.